Right now, without even thinking about it, your hand wants to reach for your phone. Maybe it already did. You picked it up, looked at nothing important, set it back down, and within minutes felt the pull again. This quiet, almost magnetic urge that lives somewhere between boredom and anxiety, between habit and hunger. You've probably told yourself it's a bad habit, a weakness, something to fix. But the real answer is far stranger than that. This isn't a flaw in your character. It's your ancient survival brain running perfectly on time. Think about what a notification actually is. It's a signal. A tiny, unpredictable signal that something in your environment has changed. Something unknown is waiting. And for 300,000 years, your ancestors lived or died based on their ability to detect and respond to exactly that kind of signal. A rustle in the grass, a shift in the wind, a distant call from another human. These were the notifications that mattered. These were the pings that told your ancestor, pay attention, something has changed, and you need to know what it is. Your brain never stopped listening for them. Dr. Robert Sapolsky, a neuroendocrinologist at Stanford University, spent decades studying stress and reward systems across primate species. His research reveals something unsettling. The dopamine system in your brain is not designed to reward you when you receive something good. It fires hardest in the moment of anticipation, in the gap between not knowing and finding out. That gap is the pull. Every time your phone buzzes, your brain releases a small surge of dopamine before you even look at the screen. Not because of what's there, because something might be there. The uncertainty is the drug. The possibility is the reward. And this is not a modern invention. This is an ancient system that has been running inside every human being who ever lived. Your ancestors on the savanna were not passive creatures. They were constantly scanning, constantly monitoring the environment for change. A sudden silence in the bird calls could mean a predator. A particular smell on the wind could mean rain, which meant water, which meant survival. Their brains were finely tuned attention machines, always alert, always listening for a signal that something had shifted. This state of alert monitoring had a name in science long before phones existed. Psychologist Michael Posner called it sustained attention, the brain's ability to maintain continuous vigilance for environmental cues. Your ancestors who had the sharpest sustained attention survived longer. They noticed the threat first. They found the food first. They got to warn their group first. The ones who weren't paying attention didn't make it to your generation. So you inherited their brains. You inherited their alertness, their constant monitoring, their dopamine reward system that fires every time an unknown signal arrives. And now that system is living inside your skull in the year you're alive, surrounded by little glowing rectangles that produce unpredictable signals at random intervals. This is not a coincidence. The engineers who built these systems knew exactly what they were doing. Nir Eyal, a behavioral designer who spent years inside Silicon Valley before writing extensively about how technology hijacks human psychology, described the core mechanism in stark terms. The variable reward schedule, the unpredictability of what you'll find when you check, is the most powerful reinforcement pattern known to behavioral science. It's the same mechanism behind slot machines, behind gambling, behind every compulsion that has ever overridden a person's intention. The slot machine doesn't pay out every time. It pays out sometimes, unpredictably, on a schedule you can't crack. And that unpredictability is precisely what keeps you pulling the lever. Your phone works exactly the same way. Sometimes you check and there's nothing. Sometimes there's something good. Sometimes there's something that makes your chest tighten. You can never know in advance. And so you check again, and again, and again. Your brain is not broken. It is doing exactly what a brain optimized for an unpredictable environment is supposed to do. Now think about what it actually cost your ancestors to check for a signal. Almost nothing. A glance, a turn of the head, a moment of attention. The caloric cost of scanning your environment was negligible. The cost of missing a signal, of ignoring a rustle in the grass, of not noticing the change in the air, could be your life. So evolution calibrated your attention system with a strong bias toward checking. When in doubt, look. When something might have changed, verify. The cost of a false alarm is low. The cost of missing a real signal is catastrophic. You are walking around with a brain that considers every unreturned glance at a change in the environment a potential survival mistake. And your phone? Your phone is changed constantly?